Anyways, what's up, guys? I always wanted to do a little guitar intro, random like improv thing. I was playing around with those two chords earlier, and it's just D major and F major. They're just super beautiful together. I was like, yeah, maybe I'll write something with these two chords later, expand upon it, and all that jazz. But just something I was messing around with. I want to talk today to not necessarily the younger generation of musicians, but some of us middle-aged or even older musicians, because I feel like there's something that happens between when you're young and you're full of, like, I don't know, life. Some of us are full of life. I don't know. We're all full of life until we're dead, I guess. But something happens with our exploration and with our curiosity and with our enjoyment of all of this stuff from when we're young, especially like 15 or something, when we're like kind of at the peak of it. And then it starts waning, I think, after 20 or so. And I just wanted to hopefully reinvigorate some push into some of you guys. And I'm also saying this to myself as well, is that we need to remember where the love is, the childish love is for music inside of us, and what that used to feel like. I'm noticing a lot more people now, older, middle-aged, older musicians, stuck in a rut. I mean, stuck in a real rut. Not being able to get out of their box. I talk to people that I might see somebody I haven't seen in 10 years, 15 years, and I'm like, hey, what are you listening to? What have you been doing? And a lot of the time I'm getting answers where either, a lot of the time they're just listening to the same things or playing the same music they were playing in high school or just a little bit after high school. They never continued past that point, like discovering and learning. And I just think that's super weird, right? Because it's like, what is it that we are enjoying? Are we enjoying music for the sake of music? Do we like sound and all of these things? Or we just like one thing? And this is kind of really the point today, is that, when sometimes I'll maybe we'll go out to dinner with family or something like that. And, I'll be like, hey, let's go to this place, and it's a new place, and we'll go there, and then somebody's like, hey, I don't want to try that. I don't like that, right? Some food. And to me, I'm like, well, if you don't try it, like, how do you know that you like it? You can't know unless you try it. And if you think about, like, when we get older, we get a little bit too comfortable, and we don't want things to go, like, quote unquote wrong in our day or something like that. So people stop trying new things. I'm one of the people, I go to the restaurant and I'll just close my eyes and point at something and order it. For the sake of surprise, right? For the sake of uniqueness or whatever. Because I like to try new things. Because when you're young, you're forced to be exposed to things. You don't really have much of a choice, right? You haven't decided anything. You haven't learned anything about life. You haven't seen anything. So we kind of take what's given to us a lot of the time. We do a lot of discovering in our teens, and then we just, kind of decide that that's what we're doing. That's me, right? At 17, that's me. And a lot of people get stuck in a rut where they can't get out of what that 17-year-old them for the rest of their life, And I'm here to tell you that that's not all you are. That's not all you are. It's okay to enjoy, bland, flavorless, unseasoned, home-cooked Southern food, And then it's also okay to enjoy Indian food. And spicy Chinese food. And then it's okay to enjoy something bitter, like maybe black coffee, right? And then something super sweet. Everything in between is okay. Everything is up for grabs. And the point is that everything is an experience, right? And they all have something to offer. So when I was young, I was one of the kids that would eat anything you gave me. I would eat anything. And I loved everything. I mean, I just love food and flavors and weird things and new things, and that includes with music and pretty much anything else in my life. I like weird and new and different all the time. But there were two things on my list of foods that I did not really enjoy. And it was sauerkraut and olives, okay? The sauerkraut, it got put into the mix of things I liked over time from exposure of when it was cooked at certain meals and go here, go there, and you try it over and over like this. But olives aren't really something you run into a whole lot, and it's not a meal, right? You can make a meal out of sauerkraut, or it's a large part of the meal. But olives are always kind of something that are on the side. You can take it off or whatever. It's on a salad, take it off, something like that. So I always had this thing with olives where I'm like, why don't I like them? I literally like everything else. Why don't I like these? I don't understand. Other people like them. They're on a lot of things. There must be something I'm missing, right? So I decided I'm going to the store. I bought 2 like gigantic jars of olives like this. 2 of them. I mean, it must have been 100 olives, in this thing, in both of these. And I decided I'm going to sit there and I'm going to eat these suckers until I have an explanation, an actual explanation for why I either like or don't like them, right? Instead of this just try them, I don't like it. A lot of people are like that. They want to poke something and think that's the experience of it. And I don't like that. I don't like that for the rest of my life, right? Shut themselves off to the experience. And I'm like, well, if people like it, there's something to be liked, right? That doesn't mean I have to like it, okay? But that means that I'm going to give myself the experience, the full experience, right? To see if I like it, and if I don't, I can tell you why, right? Because then you actually know. If you can't explain why you don't like something or you do like something, then you don't really like it or not. You're almost just making up a story in your head and believing what you're telling yourself. So I sat down and eat these olives. I mean, and it was rough, at the beginning. But I was going to mash these up in my mouth. I was going to feel the texture. Each olive is different, right? Some olives, they're a little older, a little more mushier. Some olives are, pretty tough and ripe or unripe. There's all kinds of variations in the textures and stuff like that. You just eat it and you try it and you really think about it and you taste the bitterness. You taste what it's like when it touches the tip of your tongue and then after you swallow it, right? All of these types of things. By the end of the 2 jars, you damn straight, I found out that I like olives, right? I like olives because there's something in that bitterness, right, that is so satisfying. Because it's not a dopamine hit like sugar is, right? Or black coffee is bitter, right? I like black coffee. Or whiskey or something like that, like something that's it's enjoyed in a different way, right? It is kind of hard to explain that overall feeling about why bitterness is there's an enjoyment in bitterness. But I guess it's just seeing something. It's experiencing something in the world and appreciating it for what it is, right? Especially if you have contrast between things. Because, how often are you sitting around just eating a bunch of olives? Like, you might eat olives and crackers, right? Olives and crackers. And there's actually a really fantastic Syrian dip, I guess you want to call it. In the U.S., we'd call it a dip. But it's like a yogurt, and it's called lebne. And it's delicious. You have lebne and some olives, some crackers, a pita bread, stuff like that, some olive oil. Olive oil on top of the olives. Is that like feeding a chicken? Chicken? I don't know. Anyways. But anyways, my point being is that we need to be more open to experiences. I'm seeing too many people locked in. They're locked in on their own volition. By their own volition, they're locking themselves in their own cage. I am this. People who only listen to like one genre of music. Right? How weird is that? Do you like music? Like music? Or do you like the idea of this genre? Some people are so obsessed with the idea of things that they forget to even look at the actual thing the idea is about. Right? I understand, like, dude, all of us have nostalgic feelings for things. There are musics, that I will listen to purely based on nostalgia. Not because I like the music, right? It's because it evokes a certain feeling from a certain time. But that's not the only way I listen to music. I listen to, sometimes I'm like, hey, nostalgia, give it to me. Sugar, give it to me. Sometimes I want the bitterness in olives, right? Sometimes I want to listen to something not because it gives me a sugar high, because it's beautiful in its own way. It's unique in its own way. It's dissonance, right? If we're going to compare the two, right? Sugar, pop music, dissonance is, there's all kinds of dissonances, right? I'm not going to name a genre because I don't want people to get locked into the idea of like, oh, that's what he's talking about. I'm talking about dissonance, though, in many different ways. There's beauty in dissonance. Just in the same way, when you eat an olive by itself, there is a little shock, especially if it's the first one. A little shock of, that's fucking bitter, right? But the beauty in that contrast between the lebne and the pita and the cheese, if you're having cheese with it, wine, something like that. There's beauty in this combination, right? That's where the beauty in dissonance lies. So when you hear some music and it's a little too dissonant, give it a second. Taste it. Hold it in your mouth for a little while. Try to ask yourself, if I don't like if I don't like this, let me force myself to play devil's advocate and give myself some reason. Find something in the song, in the music, that you can say that you like. Just that thing. It could be literally a drum sound, It could be one little tiny melodic fragment in the middle of a song. There are many reasons to listen to different music. And I've just noticed, man, there's so many people who just lock right in on one thing. They become that identity. They only listen to that thing. They only play that thing. And then anything outside of that, they don't even venture out to try nothing. And it honestly, it's sad to me, right? That people will just play the same thing forever. Listen to the same stuff forever. Eat the same food forever, right? I mean, good Lord. It just really blows my mind a lot of the time, this type of stuff. So I just want to encourage you guys, go out. Don't listen to any of your normal music. Say, hey, for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to not listen to one song that I've ever heard. You ever tried something like that? Okay, let's do it for a week. How about that? For 1 week, don't listen to not even one song. If you play it, obviously you go to the mall and, whatever, you go to Walmart or something. Do not play or listen to one song that you've ever heard. Go into your little streaming service, type in some random something, some descriptive word or whatever. Do the same thing as I do when I go to the restaurant. I just point to something. I don't even look at it. I'm like, I'll try that thing, because you're going to get a surprise out of it. Hey, you might not like it, but that doesn't. And when you don't like it, do that exercise. Listen to it. Keep listening to it, even if you don't like it, and just try to find one thing in there and that you can say to yourself, I do like that. I hate the vocals. I hate the message. I hate the rhythm. I hate the sound. I hate the instrumentation. But I like that one little thing. I guarantee you, when you start doing that, you will start being much more particular about what you're listening to and how you're listening to it. You know what I mean? I will listen to music for like when I eat olives, honestly, I eat them for the bitterness now. The texture's okay with the olives. It's okay. I would change, if I could change something, I would change the texture. But there's a uniqueness in the bitterness. Okay? So when I eat olives, I'm not eating it because I love every single aspect of it. I'm like, hey, there's something unique to that flavor of just the bitterness of the olive. And I want to eat it just so I can taste that, right? When you start viewing things more like that, if you view things more like that, to not have to have this 100% enjoyment of all aspects of it, or you don't like it, then you can start to really open up, and this will also come out in the either the rest of your life, right? With food, with people, places you like to go, movies, anything. I mean, you start to open up, and you're like, there's really something to enjoy in just about everything, right? Sometimes I'll watch a movie just because I like the directing. The movie sucks, the actors suck, but I just love the way like the camera moves, the camera angles, right? Very specific. Sometimes it's just for the score. Sometimes it's just for a particular performance, right, of an actor. Something like that. Try these things. Spend a week. Don't listen to anything but new music. When you get on the guitar, don't play anything you've ever played before. How about that? If you can't think of anything, grab it. Right? I've never played that stuff before. Just randomly do stuff. Open up a little bit, people. All right? Open up. I guarantee you, when you open up, nothing is going to happen for anyone outside of you. Everything's going to happen for you. This message is for you. Life has many things going on in it. This world is huge. We have a lot of stuff to experience. Don't lock yourself in for the rest of your life as from the choices you made at 17 years old. Okay? And the thing is too, one last thing here. When you choose to broaden your horizons in all aspects of life, and I'm talking about music, but also life, you're not leaving behind that person at 17. You're not leaving behind the enjoyment of those things. I grew up, the first thing I ever learned was Metallica. Okay, I loved Metallica. I played nothing but Metallica for 2 years. But I can't let my whole life be just that. Okay? That's a part of me. And so is everything else I've experienced since then. And when I listen to music now, you never know what the hell I'm going to listen to. Okay? Because I have so much stuff that I enjoy for so many different reasons. So please, folks, start right now, because I guarantee you we're not getting any younger. And hey, if this applies to you and you're 20-something, then so be it. Open up, people. I hope this finds you well, and have a great day. Peace.